Hello, welcome and thank you for joining us. I'm so glad that we're all here together and that you are with us joining in on this empowerment panel session to help bring quite a lot of information to you, where you will walk away with at least 6 actionable steps and some fabulous bonuses. My name is Sonia Clark from Lead Business Education and soniaclark.com, on behalf of Chelsea Colley, who is one of your guest speakers. And in this wonderful expo, The Best of You, our topic that we're talking about today is encouraging people through love to follow their hearts and their dreams. And what I've done is I've brought together a collection of experts in that field, plus their own field. These experts, these lovely ladies here today, have themselves gone through quite a lot of different types of setbacks, limiting beliefs, traumatic experiences, and they've themselves have found empowerment and have been able to overcome that and move forward and create some success. They work with clients to achieve the same results, and their clients go on and continue to pay that forward. So I am absolutely thrilled to bring you this panel today of these lovely ladies. So I'll just do a quick round robin and introduce these ladies to you, and then you can get to know these ladies a little more. So we have with us today Christy Marshall, who is a relationship and connection coach. We also have Frances Pratt, who is the KISS sales expert, and Kirsten Klug, who is the business growth strategist, Melanie Ash Binger, who is the Christian Network personal coach, gospel teacher and fitness instructor, and Peter Jillian, who is a fitness and lifestyle expert, Shah Sparks, who is a speaker, author, coach and business consultant, and myself, Sonia Clark, who is an entre-leadership specialist. And so I will get these lovely ladies to introduce themselves to you today. Also, just letting you know, Christy's having a little bit of an issue with the whole Wi-Fi, as we've all have done too. So we're all going to help give her some support and send out that virtual hug and hope that it all holds together. So what I'll get to happen right now is that we'll do that round robin again, and I'll ask, so Christy, what is it that you do? So it's your time to be unmuted and introduce yourself. If she's not frozen, she might be. There we go, Christy, off you go.
Hi, I am a certified fearless living coach. Specialize in relationship and connection. I help people improve their strategies, one being communication, becoming a listener, learning to set boundaries and putting agreements, teaching people how to connect if they're connecting in the first place, giving them some tools to connect to themselves and to others.
Lovely. I think the audio just cut out there a fraction, so she also helps a lot with people with boundaries, and not only to establish them and feel comfortable with that, but also to how to use that and leverage to help the very best of themselves come into fruition. Is that correct, Christy? Yep.
That's okay. Right. Yes. And also, I don't know if this came through either or not, but also helping people identify what they need and being able to express those needs and either get those needs met through their own self or through the help of others.
Lovely, lovely. So, and which is such an important thing, which is something we're going to be talking about quite a lot today. So next on our alphabetical list by first name is Frances. Frances, what do you do?
Hi, Sonia, and hi, everyone. So coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. So hi, I love teaching women who hate selling, who cringe and think, oh, I don't want to pick up the phone, I don't want to talk about what I do. I help them get over all of that so that they have the right mindset, which creates the right activities and then gets them the results that they want. And I help them create that around themselves, because great selling is about being you. And then I help them interact with love and kindness with their most loved clients. And so the system that they build out is around them and their clients. And so that's when it's simple. Like my business is keep it simple, skills to sell. So that's where the simplicity comes from, Sonia.
Nice, lovely, which is so fabulous and empowering for a lot of people, because certainly in the space of wellness, I know a lot of specialists and coaches, they love their work and are fabulous craftsmen with their work and working with their clients, but not fabulous on the sales side. And we do need to have the sales, because otherwise we won't have a business.
Absolutely. And you know, my greatest joy is to see those women with all of that passion and expertise, and see that light in their eyes when they realize, I can do this. I can actually get clients. I can ask them. I can be clear about, just as Christy said, you know, being clear about what you want and what you're offering. And it's just so rewarding. It fills my heart.
Lovely. Thank you. So next on the list, we have Kirsten Klug. Kirsten, what do you do?
Thank you, Sonia, for inviting me to be here. I'm Kirsten Klug. I'm actually from Happy Valley, Oregon, and in the United States. And it's just an honor to be here with everyone, and how we've all been connected and interconnected in so many different ways. And so I just want to say hello to everyone in the world. And I'm all about living our true life, our true self, and bringing that out into this world of who we are. So I started off as a graphic designer and a copywriter, and I had a whole creative agency, and I built that up huge. And then I started realizing that it's not just the graphic design and the communications, it's everything. We can create the life we love. And so I realized I needed to bring that passion together for business owners. So I wasn't just creating for them, but I was helping them understand that creation process, so they can get through any challenges, any fears, anything that you really want to create. I can help you get there, anything small, anything big. And so I have combined everything together. So I now have a creative agency. I also have the Kirsten Klug Consulting, and I also have a brand and a product called Healthy and Fun Choices. And I'm launching a new website so that both businesses can get behind the Healthy and Fun Choices brand, that you guys can all market, communicate, and connect within that Healthy and Fun Choices brand. And then people can also go there and learn from all of us.
Lovely. Yep, yeah. Busy lady, but apparently I'm not allowed to say busy. It's productive lady, very productive.
Yes, positive in action, right?
Absolutely.
And so I try and look at my day, like I mentioned earlier, I really love getting out in nature. So I look at, how do I create my day? When do I work so I can also get out and play with the kids? It's summer here, and so, you know, getting out kayaking or hiking or whatever, you know, whatever it is, everyone has a different love. You know, so really trying to design that life, that business, so that you can also enjoy life is to the fullest, is really what I'm here for. So yeah.
Really, really lovely. And it's great how Kirsten also works across the various different types of age groups too. So go in and check her out. Or next we have Melanie Ashbinger. Melanie, what do you do?
Well, thank you. I love to work with people who have God-sized goals, that have big dreams that are so big and they don't know how they're going to make them happen. And so I help them create clarity and a strategic plan, with helping them put God in the foundation of their business to create impact, income, and influence. So for me, I take that special gift that you were given and I help you learn to use that to bless the world. And then I run an organization called Christian Network that helps that we focus on faith, family, and business. And then we have an outreach arm called Courageous Beginnings that helps survivors of human trafficking and domestic violence.
So greatly needed. So greatly needed everywhere. And such inspiring work. So very, very productive work there. Thank you very much for that, Melanie. And next we have Peter Jillian. So what do you do, Peter?
Hello everybody, it's Peter here and I'm coming to you from Brizzy in Australia. So we are at winter. I am helping women who are 45, 50 plus and they're standing there in front of themselves and they're going, who am I? What am I supposed to do here? Who have I become? The kids have taken over my life and I'm just not sure. And so I help these ladies get active, healthy, and just feel connected to themselves and other people. And I particularly love nature as well too. I'm with you, Kirsten, that it just totally lights up my life. And it's all about helping women in particular just be able to embrace the life that they have and believe in themselves and really feel and enjoy the things that they love. And that just varies from person to person.
It does. And certainly, you know, women in those age brackets, we've all got kids at different age too, in and around that. So various different types of challenges. So, and thinking about our own health and wellness. We need help with that.
And it is that time where you actually have to say yes to yourself and no to other people. And it's learning how to say that as well too, in a loving and kind way, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. Thank you, Peter. And next we have Shah Sparks. So Shah, what do you do?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And like Christy, I am a certified fearless living coach. I am an author and a speaker, and I'm also the host of a podcast called The Power of Investing in People. And I help leaders break through fear so they can ignite their passion and turn that in purpose into profit. And most recently, I worked with leaders in the military and showed them what trauma looks like, how it shows up as fear, how it shows up as fear in their own lives and the lives of their units. And then that way they can go out and be more productive, better, well-informed leaders that are heart-centered.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh gosh, you know, trauma, various different types of things and stresses, they really do show up in lots of different ways, and often it can sideswipe you. I've certainly gone through that myself. And so on a conscious level and a subconscious level, so it's so important to embrace it so that it can really help empower yourself and then help others as well. Definitely. That's lovely. Thank you, Shah. A little bit about myself, viewers, is my name is Sonia Clark, and I have the two websites there, soniaclark.com as well as Lead Business Education. I mostly work with entrepreneurs, with entre leadership, which is about combining the best principles of leadership and with entrepreneurism and how to move forward and be ready more with yourself and your business and others and your clients for the future, as well as working with staff and helping them with their skills. So having worked with over 3,000 business owners and staff over the years and adding some of those extra zeros on, sure, but helping people to build their businesses and to leverage their businesses and their products is what I'm very passionate about, because it helps then impact other people's lives and communities. And that's my ethos, is about paying it forward and to continue to do that in a very positive way. So that's us in a nutshell, people, viewers. So the next is I'm going to open a question up to this wonderful panel. We are here representing Chelsea Colley and her topic on encouraging people through love to follow their hearts and their dreams. So ladies here on our empowerment panel, why do you think, and I'm just opening this up as an open forum question, why do you think that people should follow their hearts and dreams? Why is that important? Who would like to talk?
So I will jump in first. So my personal story is that I am an overcomer of abuse, addiction, anger, depression, low self-worth. I was a bully and I was being bullied. And I realized that, especially through the addiction and the depression part, that if you somehow are not following what your heart is telling you, you fall into a low self-worth, a depression that creates this almost like a barrier around you that keeps you small. And we are designed to actually stand up and be strong. And what I found is when you don't listen to that heart and you listen to, maybe it's your head or it's something else, the depression gets even stronger and the addiction gets even worse. And so for me, it's really important to tap into your heart and what it's telling you, what you're called to do. Maybe it's something you even had as a vision as a child, and that you're like, well, I don't think I can do that. Or maybe you didn't know what it was, so that that depression doesn't keep you down and that addiction doesn't keep you down. And then you can continue to learn about yourself, grow, step out of your comfort zone, heal, and take steps to become that thing you're being called to do.
I like that.
It's a powerful Isha. That's really beautiful. And I suppose I really resonated with what you said about, you know, addiction, depression. I've certainly been through those things, or still going through them, who knows. It's a lifelong journey, isn't it, with those things? And I suppose where I fit in, I see that kind of as right at the beginning. You've got to kind of know who you are and know why you're doing these things. And then I fit in kind of right at the other end, where I go, well, that's awesome. Now you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what you're passionate about. How are you going to talk to people about that? And sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, even for someone like me who's been selling for more than 24 years, I get nervous about it. What if people don't like me? What if they say no? What if, you know? I call it that itty bitty shitty committee on your shoulder, you know. It's so good, right? That's actually a quote from the very beautiful Debbie Loughnane, who passed away early this year from breast cancer. But that just lives with me, you know, the itty bitty shitty committee. And they sit on your shoulder going, you can't do that. And so for me, yeah, what I want to do is empower people to, once they've got that story and they've got that passion, they're clear, well, let's take that message out so that you can actually help other people.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so powerful when you connect to those things. I mean, I know for me, I was attacked at high school by a gang of boys, and you know that, and I never actually, you know, spoke about it. I never told anybody, and that just weighs absolutely so heavily on who you are. And what happens is, when you don't deal with those things, they continue to happen in your life, and you know, you end up in trauma. And you know, when you can truly connect with that person that you were, so you know, when I look back at the person that I was then and then the person that I became during my life, and you really don't like that person that you became, because you've never really dealt with that thing that happened to you. And when you can deal with that, and you can reconnect with the person that you are, that inner child that you are, and you follow what it is that you love, and it just really, it comes through in everything that you do, and people are drawn to you, and it's just so, it's really, really empowering to be able to do that, to help women in particular, you know, because we do have so many things that happen to us, and we do feel that we need to be strong and bottle those things up. and not talk about them, but you can. And when you do, that weight is just lifted off your shoulders.
Mm. Mm.
And I think we all have like a unique story, like, you know, where we're at, where we can use
We
that.
do.
We were talking about shifting. And I think, you know, right now the world is shifting, but I think sometimes maybe some of us have had to shift earlier in our life and say, hey, I've got to get control of this. And that's what's kind of put us here. And I know for me, I lost 5 people in 9 months. And when I came out of that 2-year grief cycle, I wanted to know what I was doing was leaving an impact, and I wanted to create a legacy, and I wanted to help other people leave a legacy. And what I have found with working with other people is that when we listen to what our heart's calling is, and that's kind of what we're talking about, when we listen to that thing that's deep in our heart that we know we've been called to do, or we have a passion to do, and we're bold and we talk about that, other people want to come around you and get ignited. And that's how we make a difference and a movement and really change the world. Right. Yeah. So I would just say to everybody right now that's watching this, that you're in the right place at the right time, and listen very quietly to what is that one thing that you have been called to do. What is it that you've been wanting to do that maybe you've been afraid of? There's a lot of fear coaches on here. There's going to be a lot of great resources, but you can step into that. And so that's what I would say is that that's what we're all called for, is to make a difference. And that pain that you went through, or that situation, that there's somebody right now that's in that same situation that needs the hope to move forward, to know like that I can do it. So I would say that to know that there's somebody there and there's somebody to help you, and that you can do it, and to believe in yourself. And there was a quote that is so simple, but long ago, that I took, and it's like, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you won't. So believe you can. Yeah. And I may have said that differently, but truly, whatever you believe, it's a mindset thing. If you believe you can, you will. And there's somebody out there that needs you.
Right. And I'm going to jump off of that, Melanie, because we're always so well connected in our thought process. And what I want to bring up is I'm a growth strategist. And that is just like that. We are all our growth strategists, but it's this mindset. It's the growth mindset versus saying a fixed mindset. And so in schools, they talk about this different process, that it's how you can learn and how you can, again, you have these inner desires, and I'm hearing everyone with a very similar message. So this is like just beautiful conversation right here, you know, that there's something that's been holding us back. Somehow we were traumatized. We all have it. A lot of times we feel like it's just us. And I think as I grew through life, I was always challenged. I was very creative. I have basically a photographic memory. I was always challenged, right? And so everyone always came back to me, and my family and my relationship, challenging me. Well, why? Why not? Why is that? Why do you see it differently? So on. You guys all probably have this as well. So as I would start walking forward into my creative idea of what I wanted to create, and maybe it had excellent success, some people would challenge me and say it wasn't enough. And I'm sure a lot of people have had that. And so again, just like Melanie was talking about, there's a passion, there's a reason. When we can align that inner reason, we don't have to prove anymore. We don't have to really solve problems anymore. We can actually change how we work, because now, like 2 years ago, I almost died 3 times, and I had a really bad leg accident. I shouldn't be here right now, and I should not be walking, but I'm actually skiing, kayaking, everything. And I mean, that's just one piece of like my entire life of different things that have happened throughout it, right? But when I came back to life and to business, I said, I'm going to do it differently. I'm not going to, in the creative business, have deadlines that I have to meet and get all stressed about. I'm going to do it differently. It's progress. I'm going to always be completing things and moving forward. And my clients we're going to work together. It's a process. It's a progress. It's that growth mindset. And by doing that, you guys, I mean, I've created movements for communities and for businesses that have gone and done wonderful things. But now it's so much bigger. It's so much more, right? Because just look at this. Look what has created Sonia from this. You know, the connections that have happened here, and how people have been able to take their message and their the progress of life, because everyone is here with the same inner, right? Ideas, and maybe not exactly the same, but again, you have something that's driving you forward, you want to create, and then it's again, it's those connections, that communication. So I'm all about starting conversations. That's the conversation that starts from that inner desire to that outer conversation, movement, progress, whatever it is. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, lovely. Did you want to chime in there, Christy, while you're here? Poor Christy, viewers, for some that may have just joined us, Christy's having a couple of challenges there, and that's all right. We're giving her love and support.
Yeah, it's still cutting in and out. It's still cutting in and out, so I'm hoping that you can hear me.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think I relate to a lot of what everybody has said, at least of what I've been able to hear when my connection's been solid. But I relate a lot to the depression idea that Shay brought up, and because part of my story, I was diagnosed clinically depressed. I had anxiety issues, and I learned through my own healing. And when I really faced that, there were so often that I felt disconnected from myself because I was told, don't down and deal with it, right? And so that I didn't with it, the more allowed the disconnection with other people, and the depression became more, became deeper and more profound because I wasn't really connected to myself. I wasn't connected to others. The minute that I was able to start connecting really, truly, authentically with myself, it became so empowering to, make different choices and to really sit in alignment with who I am and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Opened up when I was able to do that. To really look inside myself and really then are who people. And I this journey of, finding the love for ourselves, giving ourselves what we able to extend that out to everybody else that we come in contact with, and then the greater world. So that's what I think, my part in this is to share. It is just to really find that alignment in yourself and know that everything is within you. And you just, to really just be honest with yourself and to be focused as to what you need and what you want is so amazing.
Absolutely. I've even worked with people, excuse me, I've worked with people that have gone, and I was a little bit at the same too, when it's so ingrained though, and it's such a struggle, how can you, even though it's there, and the want and the love to want to help and to push through, to really sort of stand up for yourself first can still be very, very difficult. And I've worked with some people to say, well, then perhaps first things first, help others. And then from that, if you find that you have the love and the joy there, then to realize that could be a little bit of more of your calling, and that's what you need to tap into, and just keep doing that. Because really at the end of the day, you have two choices, victim or victor. And it doesn't matter that if you do slip back into victim, keep trying to go to victor. And if you can't do it so much for yourself initially, do it for others. And then you realize that actually you are doing it for yourself, and then keep coming back and keep strengthening for yourself. I think everyone's really quite different as far as their approach, but it's so important. And it's so important for us, really, therefore, as role models, how we're showing up for ourselves, how we're showing up for our loved ones, how we're showing up for our children, how we're showing up for those that we work with, because you don't know what traumas that they've gone through or that they are going through, or that could happen to them. And if you've role modeled out something somehow, then you're giving about that little bit of how to give to others their tools. So then how can they then use that at some point or another? You know, I'm very proactive on myself with being Victor, and don't whinge about it, get on with it, do something. Do something. It's okay to every now and then have a time to go whinge, sure, but keep moving forward, and through that everyone's starting to do it. It's very contagious, and you'd be surprised at how many other lovely people there are out there doing the same and going through the same sort of journeys. And this is what I love about this virtualness, is that we're connecting a whole lot more in a different way, sure, but it's certainly across the pond. So there's 3 us Aussies here and 3 from over in America who I would never have met only, you know, a few months ago. So it's just so awesome. So then, ladies, let's talk a round robin now again with each of you, and I'm going to go again at that alphabetical order, with asking you how you then get your clients to then follow their hearts and dreams. So hopefully then the listeners will be able to pick up some little tips and strategies. So Christy, how do you go about getting your clients to follow their heart and their dreams? Oh, hold on, there we go.
It's interesting because I have so many of my clients will come to me and just say, you know, I just need more clarity. I don't know what I want. I don't know, you know, how to go about getting what I want, and it's really funny because everybody that comes to me with regard to clarity, they really know. They know what they want. And so for me, it's a few things. So oftentimes they're not giving themselves permission to be okay with what they want. So I will lend them permission until they do that for themselves. You know, I'll always say, hey, do you need permission to do this? Because I'll give it to you right now. So that's one thing, is, you know, getting them to give the permission to themselves, and if not, holding that space for them and giving it to them until they can. So that's one thing. Another that, you know, they have expectations about whether what they want is good enough or right enough. So it's helping them release those expectations and just letting it be okay. Because oftentimes on ourselves, or we've gathered from someone else and put it onto us. So it's letting go of those expectations and being okay with what you want. So permission and expectations are huge. Another thing is just the confidence. And so oftentimes what I'll do is, you know, this is something through Rhonda Britton that I've learned, and in our Fearless Living work, is taking stretch, risks, and dies, right? So looking at what they want to do, and then, okay, well, let's look at steps. Are those stretches for you? Are those risks for you? Are those dies for you? And then taking them through that. And we start out with a stretch, then we move into a risk, then we get into that die zone. And, you know, so taking those risks is building the confidence. They're taking the action, they're doing it, and then they're learning, hey, I really can do it. I can trust myself. I can lean on myself. And those are my 3, I would say, top things: permission, expectation, letting go of the expectations, and working through the risks to build the confidence to do what they want to do.
Love that. Love that. Lovely nuggets of gold there. Thank you very much for sharing that. Next, we have Frances.
Oh, thanks, Sonia. I love that, Christy. And when I was listening to you thinking about that, it's such a great launching place for then people to actually take action. And so I'd love to follow on from what you said and say to people, I love your thing about giving people permission. So the thing I'm going to give you permission to do is take whatever you have and please go and talk to some clients, go and talk to some potential clients, because here's what I know. I have a little mantra. It's called more sales, less marketing. So in today's world, we think we've got to have our website done, our business card, our brochure, our this, our that, our blah, whatever. And the reason I say more sales, less marketing, is sales is the act of going and talking to clients. So take whatever you have exactly as it is right now, even if it's on a napkin, on the back of a napkin, take it and go and talk to some clients and say to them, hey, this is the problem that I see. This is what I see in the world. This is what I'm thinking about doing. Is this something that you are interested in? Do you see that problem? Would you buy from me? Because if we actually go about that activity of talking to our clients, then we're actually forming the products, forming the materials in and around our clients. It's actually interweaved. Let's try that again. Interwoven with them and around them. And so they're much more likely to buy that because it's about them, not about you. I always say to people, if you're busy in the background, that's fantastic, but everyone can build the most beautiful mousetrap in the world. But if you take that magnificent mousetrap and everyone's got a cockroach problem, no one's going to buy it. Please, please, please take whatever you have and take it out to market and get your clients to help you form it, and you will love it more and they will love it more. And I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
I'm a visual person, and so shitty bitties and cockroaches, mouse traps, right?
And soapboxes, of course.
And soapboxes too. I love it. The collage I've got going on. So, Melanie, what? How do you?
Is it me next? Is it me next, or sorry, you're going in order or out of order?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I am going in order. So it is Kirsten. I'm sorry, Kirsten. What?
I was ready to jump. Maybe you were ready to jump too. I was ready to go off of what she said. It was a great message. Yeah, I mean, gosh, both of you guys, Christy, you nailed it there with the relationship. And Francis, I feel like you also touched on such important points, because it draws right into what I do, which is drawing out that conversation. We have to have the conversation that will lead us forward into whatever we can create. And yes, I agree. Being from communications world, a lot of people say, I don't have the website, so I can't do that. I don't have this, so I can't do that. I don't have enough money to go and do my dream. And, those are all excuses. And, I almost died, like I said earlier. And so about 8 months ago, I was invited to a conference. And that's how actually all this has come around, really, you guys, because we're all connected. We're all right here because I met Sonia. I met Carolyn. I met, Melanie. I brought it all together, right? But, coming from the accident, I have a traumatic brain injury. And I have some things that I have to think about things differently. I have to step it down into phases, smaller steps. Well, I went to this conference and I didn't have my business cards. I didn't have my website done. I had to take everything offline because I couldn't work for 2 years. And so what I decided when I went to the conference is go with an open mind, an open heart. And I decided to take photos. And I got out my little phone, and when I met someone, I stood up and I took a photo of me and that person together. And I wrote a message and I sent it to them and I sent it to me. And I had their name, I had their phone number, I had their email address, and I knew what they did and I knew what they looked like. So from a traumatic brain injury, not knowing how am I going to remember people's names, and I don't have anything to hand out, I just created an incredible experience, because now out of those 20, 30, 40, 50 people, Forbes Riley was one of them. I met Forbes Riley before I got invited up onto the stage with Shanda Sumter as she was asking my question from, how many thousands of people were there? My question got picked and I got invited to stage. And I was talking with Forbes Riley. So then I followed through with Forbes Riley, all because I had a picture of her, all because we were connected for a reason. Yeah. So I just have to say, for everyone there, everyone here, how do you follow your dreams? You start conversations. You start conversations. And so if you are a coach and you're working with clients, ask the questions. Just keep asking questions, because something's going to be revealed. You're going to find something. If you are a person that needs coaching, then you get to ask questions, right? And then when they ask you questions, answer them to your best ability, and keep moving forward and keep taking those little steps and those little actions. that can help create your future. So that's what I would say. Start with conversations.
Love it, love it. You know, sometimes though people can say, but what is holding me back is that if someone asks me something and I don't know what to say, so maybe I shouldn't say anything then at all. So what would you suggest for that then, Kirsten?
We still move into questions. Then it start conversations, right? So if they're not going to answer, you start a conversation. And how do you start a conversation? It would be, am I frozen? You guys are all stuck. So now maybe I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah.
I'll do a dance. Can you guys hear me still?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You guys are all frozen, but I'll keep speaking. So what I say is we start a conversation. Sorry, I froze there, or you guys froze or something. But we start a conversation, and so the questions continue through the conversation. I could either start sharing a experience with myself. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. We can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. I'm frozen. It's all. Ugh. So anyways, I would start sharing a story about how I've gone through something, or maybe another client that I've worked with has dealt with something. And through those conversations and communications, we end up getting to more questions that they can then answer, and they're comfortable answering. So if you're not comfortable answering a question that someone has asked you, just keep talking, keep having conversations. So I don't know, everyone's kind of frozen. Did you guys hear any of that?
Yeah. We heard you, and that was really great. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
So Melanie,
I'll just keep talking. I can't tell.
Yeah, you've been looking fine this side, so that's all good. And we heard you, so that's all good. Yeah. So Melanie, how do you get your clients to follow their hearts and dreams?
Well, I think one of the big things is to come from a heart of service, right? So when I'm working from somebody, I say, who is the person that you want to impact? Or if you could make a difference in someone's life, who would that be? And a lot of times that is a person who's maybe 1 or 2 steps behind us. And so for the person who believes like, I don't know how I could do that, we do, because we've walked that, we've been that journey. And one thing that I uniquely do is I help people learn how to serve from their overflow and work from rest. So because a lot of times we have these goals that are so big, we think, well, what am I going to do that? And with what time, and how do I do that? So I have a system I take people through to be able to really schedule to learning how to work from rest, what fills you up, so that you can serve from overflow and serve from joy, so that you have more to give. Because I think that's really important. So that's one of the pillars that I do. And then I have a system where I help people look at and really take a look at what your goals are. What is your freedom goal? What is it that you need to do to just break even? Then what is your ignite goal? What is that you know you can do it consistently and persistently if you work hard? Because a lot of us as entrepreneurs and leaders, we've shown up and we know how to do that, right? But if we've got this big goal, this God-sized goal, then what I do is I help people look at their God-sized goal and work that process out and identify and give God the glory through that process of when divine appointments have shown up and when things have happened, so that we can really do that. And so I think that is, for me, what I would say is just think about and I would say to give somebody something is think about what fills you up, right? And are you having time to do that, to give yourself 1 day a month to go and to do that, so that you are filling yourself up and have somebody hold yourself accountable, so that you have that and you're in that routine of filling yourself up, so that you can be able to have that joy to give other people. Because when you have a big goal and you're doing these things that are impacting the world, you have to learn how to care for yourself and set those boundaries, like many of you have talked about, so that you have more to give and you don't want to quit. And the other part is helping people identify, when you're talking about that passion, who believes in you. So when you're talking about this, when you start sharing that vision that you have, or that big goal and dream that you guys have, think about who is saying yes and is that, and put those people around you. So on those days that you need more, you know who to call, because they're going to help you believe in yourself. And then also find people who have gifts that you don't have. So for an example, I'm a huge visionary. I see big, but sometimes I don't always see the little details, right? I don't really see the little things that somebody else would do. So I'm always looking for that person to compliment me, who has the details where I can see that that's the gift that God gave them, and they can use that so well. And then they go, well, Melanie, what about this? Right. And so that we can serve. And that's really a part of the passion of how I got started, you guys, is I really heard a lot of women say or compare themselves. You know, comparison is a thief of all joy. They would say, well, I can't do that. Like, I see that person doing, but I don't have that gift. Right. And so, but what do you have? Right. And so I wanted women, and actually I work with a lot of men now too, to be able to use that gift that they have to make a difference, and to know that they have value and worth, and that they are enough, and that their story will impact and change the world.
Beautiful.
And if it's one person, it's worth it.
Exactly. Because you never know really how much that can roll on, really. It's the butterfly effect, really, isn't it? It's beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah, we just have to have that faith to take that step for that one person, because we don't really know what is to come. So when we take the step of faith to help that one person, or who's in our heart, then that's when the movement starts.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm always saying, just do it, just move, just give forward, because it'll come back one way or another. And if it doesn't come back directly, a lot of people, they expect it straight away. That's not the right heart's attitude, and it'll come back eventually. And if it's not going to come back straight away, it might come back later, but it might come back because, say, through your children rather than directly to you, or through another circumstance. So yeah, love it. Peter, how do you get your clients to follow their hearts and dreams?
Wow. I mean, this is just an amazing conversation. And what I'm seeing here is how we've just pivoted off of one another.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So I want to follow through on time, because I believe that we do not give ourselves time. We do not give ourselves permission to just sit in the moment. And so if I could leave you with anything, it would be to give yourself permission to spend time with yourself and your higher power, whatever you call that, every day for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, just wake up and just take a deep breath and connect with your body, with your mind, with your spirit, and think about what it is that you appreciate, what you are grateful for in this day, and what is your intention that you want to move forward with in the day that you now have available. Like, you know, I get up really, really early every morning because I run fitness classes. So I'm up super, super early. But setting my alarm 5 minutes earlier just means that I get to spend that 5 minutes with myself, to be able to nurture myself, to believe in myself. And when I can do that, it means that everything that I do for the day is going to come from within me, and I can then have that impact on those women that I work with on a daily basis. And that's what I encourage them to do every single day. And as you just mentioned, you may not be impacting this next generation. It could be the generation after. I see this. I have 13 grandchildren. And with these grandchildren, you know, I remember we were climbing over something one day and it was really high, and my 4-year-old granddaughter, she said, I can't do it. Nanny, I can't do it. And I've gone, but you can. It's just like one step in front of the other. Just take that one step, you know, and I'm helping her. But I'm just underneath her. I'm not doing it for her. I'm just guiding her, you know, and the joy on her face when she got to the top, we were climbing over a horse float, by the way. And so by the time she got to the top of that horse float, you know, the joy on her face was unbelievable because she could do it. And it was just that guiding hand that she had. It wasn't that I pushed her or shoved her or helped her. It was that she could have it. She could do it. It was within her to do it. She just needed to believe in herself. And, you know, the other boys were all on the top, and they were, you know, yelling and screaming and just giving her that round of applause that she needed to get there. And it's so, so true. When you spend time with yourself, you believe in yourself, and you can then give that guiding hand to somebody else and impact somebody else.
Just beautiful. Oh.
Yeah.
So lovely. And again, I've got the pictures going on. So pretty. It was a summer's day, and
it was.
Lovely. Thank you for that. So Charlene, how do you get your clients to follow their hearts and dreams?
Wow. Like mind blown. If you're not taking notes, you should be. This is incredible, from permission to starting communication by asking questions, coming from a place of service and being still. And so for me to wrap all of that up in the one bubble is to do all of that with curious exploration. And that's really, for me, is I have a system called Spark Your Alpha, and it is literally starting journaling in the morning, being still and writing down and daring to dream. What would your life look like if no one had stopped you from doing anything? What could you do? What would you have done? How would your life have been different now? What would change? Just start asking yourself all these questions in journaling. If money was an object to worry about, what could you do? What impact could you make? And come from that, from a place of, well, maybe I could do something. And as with my clients, once we start from there, we start to kind of break it down into the alpha, which is alignment, leadership, purpose, hope, and awareness. And it's really about making sure that, awareness is first. So making sure where that fear shows up. So Sonia, you said something about, well, what if they ask a question and they don't know the answer? Great, let's not know the answer. What if they did know the answer? What if they guessed? You know, sometimes that not knowing is fear showing up and they freeze. So we kind of dive into that and see what uncovers there. Leadership is really how they want to show up as a leader, and what examples have they had of that, and who they could go out and be a mentee, or just watch, or just find social media that they could really like take their leadership skills from. Purpose is really diving into, like Melanie said about service, is really like, what is on your heart? What causes have you really known that you're like, oh, I love that, like that, my heart bleeds for that. That could be veterans, that could be abused women, that could be domestic violence, that could be sex trafficking, that could literally be anything, could be people with autism, could be anything. So just figure that out, because sometimes we don't even know because we don't think about these questions, right? And then hope. How many times have you ever felt hopeless? Right? So we're taking that into the opposite, and we're creating hope. And just like I think it was Kirsten had to mention before, it's about that growth mindset, not about the fixed mindset. So building hope starts with how you can shift your mindset from one and look at it in the reverse to another. And then last is alignment. How does this feel when you are alone, when you are being still, when you are journaling, and you're really being of service, and you're asking yourselves these questions, and you're giving your permission to dare to dream? How does this feel inside? How is this igniting that passion? How is this sparking you? How is this literally lighting you up? And notice how your body feels. And when you do, you can't help but want to continue to go forward.
Love it, love it, love it. So good. And you touched on it, but I thought maybe just to elaborate a fraction more. So if people don't have that, when you said about leadership and that role modeling, if they haven't had that, you said to look at media and things, maybe just elaborate that fraction more. If they don't know what that is, if they've never had exposure to it, and a lot of people do tend to have it within them, they just don't know how. So how would you try to encourage that out, that leadership, what it is that they want, if they've never had exposure, never seen, or, you know, got no idea?
Well, most of us have had what we don't want, right? So write down what you don't want, and then make a list of the opposite of that. And then that's the crazy thing, is that, again, we look at what's obvious, is we don't want that. So then we have to really kind of look at, okay, what it is that I do want? What could be possible? And I've noticed what happens in my own life is that when you focus on what you don't want, guess what shows up? More of what you don't want. When you start to look at the opposite and focus on what you do want, more of what you do want starts to show up. And then you start to just automatically emulate those things.
Yep. Beautiful. Lovely. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I suppose that I work with business is, so a lot of everything, what everyone's talking about is very behavioral like, and when then people, and it's great to work on that, you have to start working on that first. You have to work on yourself more inward to then go outward. And then putting it in that business sense, people then look at it quite differently. It was like, hold on, but they're the same sort of principles. So as far as like with me, with what I do with business, and I look at the personal and the professional and the behavioral, but also go, okay, well, the same sort of principles that everyone has just spoken about, and the goal setting, what is it that you do want, what is it that you don't want, and making sure that you're very aware of that, to try to keep what you don't want, so that you can keep more on track to get and achieve what you do want and gravitate towards it. And because my whole thing is why I got into teaching and coaching and training people is because I learn differently. And talking about autism, my youngest is on the spectrum too. So I think that's where he got it from me a little bit. I learn differently. I learn things backwards. So sometimes that whole journaling, or that whole sort of starting off and getting what, as you said, for me, that's a bit scary, because it's like, but I don't know where I'm going. Yes, it's the steps of faith and moving forward, as many of you have said. And Melanie, you said with a big picture, I'm a big picture, and I have to work things, chunk it out backwards and work out what are those little steps, so that I know how to step forward, whether that's in a how to as in the processes, or how to as in faith and confidence too, if I don't know and I've never seen, and those sorts of things. So that would be, a little bit of my strategies there, and certainly everything that everyone has mentioned here, absolutely. And probably just to add one more thing in there is also then accountability. Have lots of different types of accountability buddies. So that it can help you work on your strengths as well as your challenges or weaknesses. You can have accountability for, because I came across someone recently and they said they hated the word accountability and accountability buddy. But hold on, you can have an accountability buddy for positives, not always negatives. So you can have it so that you are always working on positives. So whether it's a positive for yourself, a positive for the bigger picture, that third win, that third common denominator, as well as the negatives, so that you are keeping on track and to achieve where you want to go to. So that's, and have lots of different types of accountability buddies, or different accountability buddies for the different types of accountabilities. So that would be my biggest suggestion and takeaway for people there that are listening. And I think that what everyone has presented here for the viewers, for yourself there at wherever you are, that I think that what everyone's given here is beautiful nuggets of gold and pearls of wisdom, and lovely, lovely empowering concepts and ideas and tips and strategies. So I'm a little bit wary of our time here, ladies. So is there any last minute takeaway that someone might want to just quickly add in before I go and say what offer you might have for the viewers? Is there any last minute takeaways? I think you've all done an excellent job with it, with given everything to the people, the viewers and the listeners here.
I think the one thing that I'm in my heart is that I'm sensing is that, wherever you're at, show up. Don't be afraid of what's on your heart to share that and to be bold. Something that was really hard for me was to learn to ask for help. So I would say if there's something you don't know how to do, to ask for help, because in that, a lot of times somebody wants to help you, but they just don't know how. They love what you're doing. They love your passion. They love your vision. And so when you do that, that opens a door for bigger things to happen, and for it to come easier to you, and for you to learn and to be blessed, and for you to bless more people. So that's what I would say, is to just, you know, really share, be passionate, share your vision, and to ask. Don't be afraid to ask, and to try to find the way to yes.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. All right. So we'll do a round robin then. Viewers, these lovely, empowering ladies here have got an offer that they'd like to give you. So again, alphabetically, we are with you, Christy. So I will have to take you off mute there. Unmute, maybe. There you go. Christy, what would you like to offer for the viewers or listeners?
Okay. Well,
Oh, she's frozen. Oh, timing.
Oh,
Christy.
Timing. Christy, we'll come back to you in a moment when it's come back on. So, Francis, your turn. What would you like to offer the viewers and listeners?
Hi, everyone. I'd love to offer everyone a 30-minute discovery session, but in order for you to take it up, you have to do some homework. And and that is, I've been setting this for my coaching clients lately, and what I want you to do is I want you to go and listen to Martin Luther King's speech in 1964, I Have a Dream. And I want you to write your own version. So for the big picture people, like Melanie and me, that's kind of easy because we've got that big picture going on. For the people who are more, you know, they need the smaller steps first, just deconstruct it. He set the landscape. He set a dream. He set a call to action. So what is it that you see? What is the problem? What vision do you have? What do you want the world to look like? So once you've done that homework, you can book in a 30-minute discovery call with me, and we'll bring that dream to life.
Ooh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you very much. So to book a call with you, they need to reach you by?
Yes. So it's kisstocell.com and then /discovery.
Nice. kisstocell.com/discovery. Lovely. Thank you. Christy, you look like you're not so frozen at the moment. So let's try again. I'm trying to unmute you. Well, why is it that you always freeze every time we go back to you? Poor Christy. Christy, if you can hear me, do you want... Christy, if you can hear me, do you want to just send it to...
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now, yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, go for it.
So what I would give anybody, I would like to give to anybody listening today is they can go visit my, you'll be able to contact, discover your clear.
All right.
Most of the time what I do is during that 30 minutes, can you hear me?
It is very it's very glitchy.
So I don't know. Can you hear me now?
It's very glitchy, Christy.
Okay.
Maybe can you just send it to me in the messenger, and I will state it for you. So if you just pop it in the messenger, and I will then make sure I will tell everyone about it. Okay. Thank you. We have next Kirsten. Didn't think of You're muted, Kirsten.
Okay,
There we go.
I'm it now. Hello. If I only knew sign language, right? That's what I always say. Yeah. One time we had someone that got froze with 2 middle fingers up. You know, they were talking and they were going like this.
Funny.
Like forever. So that was something hilarious about that can happen on Zoom, you know. But anyways, laughter is such an important part. I think I just wanted to throw that in, that laughter is so important in all that we're doing. And you guys have seen us all laugh a lot here. We're just having so much fun with the information we're sharing with you. And so much of it is like, you know, I'm connecting with everyone here and going, I need you for that. I need you for this. Oh my gosh, you know. So what I wanted to lead you off with is a system I have that's called LEAD. And it is just simply chunking down those 4 elements. It's the LEAD, like what do you see? What do you look for? What is that vision? And write that down in one little chunk. And then drop down to the very bottom of your page and write down, like, today, what are you discovering? That's your D. So what are you discovering that you're doing now? What are you doing right now? What is your LEAD? What's your future? What's your now? And then you're going to put in your E. So LE, future is L. E is your excuse. What's your excuse? What's getting in your way? And then your next one down is A. What is your action? What's the action you can do to jump over your excuse to the L for lead and look? Like, where are you going? So that's the little, chunk it down into your vision. So once you do that, I want you to jump on a discovery call with me and let's have a conversation. Let's get going and figure it out and just take those little small action steps that you can do so that you can lead your life the way that you love.
Lovely, beautiful. Thank you very much. So to contact you via kirstenklug.com.
Yeah, let's see. I have like an I'll spell it out. https:// and then it's Kirsten, KIRSTEN - Klug is KLUG, and then it's dot, and then it's an AS as .me. So it's the normal link that you would see if you're using like Acuity, which is a scheduling program for getting a discovery call. So you'd have a half-hour discovery call with me. We'd have conversations. Let's figure out how to move you forward and leading the life you love.
Lovely, beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for having me here. It's nice to see everyone, and I can't wait to meet all of you guys. And I welcome everyone here, even on the panels. You know, reach out. Let's talk.
Absolutely, because we can certainly do that. And Melanie, what's your offer for our viewers and listeners?
Well, I want to thank you, Sonia, and I want to thank Chelsea for having me on here today. So as I was just really thinking about how I could be of service to your community and tribe, what I want to do is I have a Ignite Your God-Sized Goals. It's a 7-pillar program, and one of the things in there that's so powerful and helpful is a God-sized goal planning and roadmap. And so I want to give that to every one of your listeners today to really just help them get clear on where they're at and where they can go and who they can surround themselves to create impact, income, and influence. And then I would also like to offer a private one-on-one coaching session to each of your, not discovery, but actually coaching to really get you moving forward into where can you be in the next 90 days to really pivot and get into action.
Lovely.
So do that. If you contact me at Melanie Binger, which is MELONYBUENGER.com. Just fill out one of the contact forms, and then if you put empowerment as your code word, that will give you access to those things, and I'll send them over to you.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Peter, what's your...
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm going to take a leaf out of Francis's book, and I'm going to get you to do some homework. So it must be an Aussie thing. So my homework is this. So when we are a well-being, when we feel well in ourselves, everything else happens. And that is body, mind, and soul. Okay, so how I want you to start this off is, I think that health and fitness for every single one of us looks very different. it's not about being, you know, that absolutely one body shape, etc., etc. It is not about that at all. We are perfect just the way we are. And so what I want you to do is to get your prettiest journal out and your prettiest pen. And today I want you to write down 10 reasons why your well-being is important to you. So just 10 reasons. But then I want you to stretch yourself. So tomorrow it's another 10 reasons, and then the following day another 10 reasons, till you get to 50 reasons. Okay, you've got to get to 50 reasons. So you need to do this 5 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It will be a stretch by the time you get to the end of it. When you get to the end of it, you will be able to see like little pockets of everything, little patterns, and you'll be able to really, really identify what is the thing that is really important to me. Why is this important to me? And when you can discover your why, then everything else just works for you. You can just keep taking those steps forward day in, day out, because you know why you're doing it. And when the roadblocks happen, guess what? You just come back to that why all the time. So I have a free group, which is called, it's on Facebook, Women Over 50 Get Active and Healthy. And so you can come and join my free group and you'll get access to me. And what you can do is you can just message me and you can ask me, or, you know, set up a call with me, and I will be more than happy to chat with you about where you want to be in your life.
Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. Yes, I do have to get healthy and fit. I am getting there. I am. It's one of my goals. It's not one of my first ones, but I think you're going to have to help keep me accountable for that, Peter.
Or Riley spin gym. That's an easy way.
Yeah, true. But
Yeah.
we can't get it here in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll ship
Yeah.
one to you.
All right. Cool. Cool. Oh, Peter and Francis, what that is, because then we can do it at the desk, and it gets you working on it. It's really cool.
That's where I have these arms. They used to be flabby. They're not flabby anymore.
Gotta get rid of that too. What would you like to offer the viewers / listeners?
Yeah, so if you go to my website, shaysparks.com, you can download a PDF on how to be a fearless communicator. And also, just for taking time to watch this and be with the Empowerment Summit, I'm offering anyone who wants a free book to email me at heyshay@shaysparks.com. That's HEYSHA@SHASPARKS.com. And in the subject, put Empowerment 2020. And we'll be emailing back and forth, and I'll get your address and I will send you a book, even all the way to Australia.
Yay!
Yes.
I love it. Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you. And I did say Shay instead of Shay, so I apologize about that.
Okay.
Mine's just a quick one for the viewers there. It's a checklist. It's a 7 game-changing checklist for leadership strategies for your business. So you can just go to soniaclark.com, and that's on the front page there. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll be able to pop in your details there, and I'll send you that checklist to help with this newer way with EntreLeadership and your business, and to take you and move you forward. So looks like, Christy, you've had a bit of a decent connection there. Let's try that again. Maybe. I'm trying to unmute you.
You hear me?
Yes. Yay! We can.
Thank you. Thanks for coming back to me. I want to say thank you for having me today, for inviting me, for hosting this wonderful forum, for all the tidbits that everybody shared. I was writing some down too. So awesome inspiration, guys. And one thing that I am going to give the listeners to take away is to think about what does the relationship with yourself look like? What is it fulfilling for you? What is lacking? And how does that affect the relationships around you? So just something to think about, journal about, explore. And then what I would like to gift to any of the people that are watching is I am offering a free 30-minute discovery call. And on that call, if you took this little takeaway and you wrote all that down, bring it to the call. One thing I will also be talking about on the call is needs and clarify those for yourself. So do it again.
Needs and goals, did you say? Needs and goals. You just
Needs and wants.
wants,
So
right.
defining the difference. What are your needs? What are your needs? Yes.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, there is quite a bit of a difference, and people do need some assistance with that quite often. Yeah, lovely. So that's at christymarshall.com. Is that correct? I think that's a yes, people.
RISTIMHALL.
Lovely, lovely. So it's on the screen there. And I want to thank Chelsea Colley for allowing this panel to come together for this wonderful opportunity to help a lot of people. I hope that you've all had some wonderful strategies to take away and those lovely bonuses. And again, you know, thank you, Chelsea, for that opportunity for us to come together. I'll leave you all with one last quote. And what I've done is I've taken this quote that I came across and I went, oh my gosh, and I've just added on my own little bit of embellishment, which is, remember that you haven't come this far to only come this far. So keep moving forward and lead. So I thank you all very much. I thank you, lovely ladies, this empowerment panel. Yay, it was wonderful that you all joined us and we got through it with the whole freezes and things.
Round of applause.
Yeah, round of applause. And we will see you all again another time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.